What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're working on my newly purchased Clio 172 Cup. Now, I purchased this at the start of the year, so I've been driving it around for 4 or 5 weeks now, and it is an absolute blast. I love this thing, and it could possibly be one of my favourite cars I've ever owned. I purchased the Clio with a very short MOT. I think it only had 2 to 3 weeks left on it. So after a thorough inspection at my workplace, I took it down the MOT garage and we got a pass. But not only did we get a pass, it's actually a pass with no advisories, which for any car enthusiast is just brilliant. Although the Clio did pass with no advisories, on my pre-MOT inspection I did pick up on a couple of bits that I would like to change. So I've been online, I've ordered some bits, and with the help of AUTODOC we're going to be rectifying and changing them parts in this video. And we're also going to be making our first modification to our 172 Cup. I do live fairly rural in the countryside in the UK, so it doesn't take long for the Clio to end up looking like a mud bath. But unfortunately, it's on daily duties at the moment whilst I wait for my Mark IV Fiesta van to come back from the body shop. But that should be fairly soon, and then we can sort of use this one on the weekends as a nice little toy and in good weather. But I'm waffling on now. Let's take a look at what AUTODOC has sent us out. Right, so all the parts in here relate to the anti-roll bar. Now, it's not really a conventional type anti-roll bar, whereas it has links and then it has a roll bar. The roll bar actually tucks under the lower arms, but we'll get more into that when I get under the car and show you guys in a bit. So what I've got from AUTODOC is I've got 2 bushes which fit under the lower arms. I've also got another 2 bushes which fit on the anti-roll bar and bolt it onto the subframe. And lastly, I've got these 2 brackets. They seem to be coated, maybe zinc coated, which will definitely make them last longer than untreated metal. Now, these help secure the bushes under the lower arms. I've also gone ahead and purchased this. Now, this is the rear exhaust mount rubber. It's all together. It's sort of like a moulded rubber in there, and the mount as well. Now, when I was doing my inspection, I noticed that my one was starting to crack up and the exhaust was just sitting at the bottom of this mount, which I wasn't too happy about. Certainly wouldn't have failed the MOT because it wasn't likely to become detached and it wasn't insecure, but I thought I'd order one of these as well. I also have another box of parts sitting underneath my Mark II Escort, which we will be fitting in a little while, but for now I need to crack on and get these bushes changed. And I wasn't exaggerating at the state of this thing. Look at that, mud all up the sides. And the front wheels are in a state, but I will be cleaning this very soon. Just haven't got time for it in this video. All I've done so far is just jack up the Clio, and I've removed both of the front wheels. I thought it'd be an easier job with them both removed. Now we can see the anti-roll bar here, and you can see what I was talking about earlier. It just mounts onto the lower arm, whereas, well, I say your usual anti-roll bars. Many of the anti-roll bars that I come across in my work are attached to the strut, and they then attach to the bottom of the anti-roll bar. So this is a slightly different setup. So we've got the bracket there and the bush, and then we've also got the second bush, which is just through there, and you can already see why I'm replacing these. Now that is because they're cracked very badly. I can't really get it to focus at the moment, but we will have a better look at these bushes once they're off. Well, that certainly shocked me. I've just removed the last bolt for the last bracket and the anti-roll bar has pretty much just fallen out. Happy days. Look at that. Well, that was easy enough. All I had to do was remove the big mounting brackets that attach to the subframe and the body of the Clio, and then just the two mounting brackets either sides that attach the anti-roll bar onto the lower arm and the subframe, and it's off. One thing I did notice whilst I was removing the anti-roll bar is that the middle bushes still say Renault, which is amazing. I wonder if these have been on it from factory, from new, or whether someone has fitted some Renault bushes to it at some point in its life. Either way, we are going to be replacing these today because look how cracked these are. They're very perished. You can see that they do need changing. This is the other middle bush, or rubber. You can see that it is cracking quite a lot. And it is worn on the inside, so I'm very happy that we're going to be replacing these today. I've just taken the other one off, so I wonder if this side's going to make exactly the same noise. It kind of does. Not really. Let me show you the other side. There we go. Judging them noises, I'd say this one isn't as worn as the other side. The other one didn't have much of a noise, and then that would lead me to think that the other side is more worn than this side. I've just given the anti-roll bar a quick clean over and it's actually turned out half decent, although I would love to paint it or even get it powder coated, but that is another job for another day. We have got to focus on getting these new bushes all attached onto the anti-roll bar so I can get it fitted onto the car. I'm praying these bushes are the same because I actually got the information off a forum online. Someone linked all of the AUTODOC part numbers and I've just copied and pasted them. So yeah, I think they do look the right size though. So really happy that we've got these from AUTODOC for a reasonable price. And that is the other size bush. So yeah, got both size bushes ×2. Here's a little comparison with the old ones on the left and the new ones on the right. You can see these ones aren't even really round anymore, more of an oval size. That's us all ready to go. The new bushes are fitted. It was quite satisfying fitting them end ones. They're nice and snug now. And the middle ones that mount onto the subframe are also attached. So I've just got to get this wiggled back into position and then we can get it all done up. And don't forget, I do also have the clamps somewhere. Here they are. Got the new clamps that will be bolting the anti-roll bar onto the lower arms. I didn't manage to get new clamps to bolt it onto the subframe, but I can always acquire them in the future. It's now been a couple of days since I filmed the last clip and oh my word, was that anti-roll bar a pain in the arse to fit. It was so hard. No matter what position or angle I tried to get the anti-roll bar in, it just wouldn't fit. So I ended up having to disconnect the gear selector and I then managed to get the anti-roll bar up. But that is not where the challenge decided to end. It was really hard to actually try and push the anti-roll bar on and get it to stay there whilst I put some of the bolts in. So yeah, it was fighting me all the way, but I did get it fitted, although it was pitch black by the time I finished. I have got the Clio jacked back up again, exactly the same as yesterday, because we need the front wheels off for the next part we're changing. But you can see the new bushes and hardware under that wishbone. And yeah, I'm just happy this is all on now because it was a pain in the arse. I actually managed to get some new bolts and some new nylock nuts for the bushes that go under the lower arms. So that was a pain in the arse, but I'm so glad that the anti-roll bar bushes are now changed. They're all fresh, they're not cracked, they're not worn, and yeah, they will go for many more miles. And next up, I'm going to be showing you guys what was in that box that I didn't show you at the start of this video. So in here are a set of front discs and pads for the Clio. Now I did get carried away. When I saw these on the internet, I thought I've got to buy these. Now these are from MTEC brakes and they are drilled and grooved front brake discs. I've never actually had a set on a vehicle that I've owned, so I really fancied the look of these when I saw them online. I've just unboxed these and take a look at them brake discs. They look proper cool, and I know what a lot of you guys are probably thinking, bloody hell, Mitch is going to change this Clio and make it a track toy. Well, I'm not, but I am going to be enjoying it on the B roads of Britain, and I might do the occasional track day, but it's certainly not going to be stripped out with a cage in the back. I'm not going for that look. I want to just keep this Clio up to a good standard and yeah, just enjoy it in the summer months. Now, I've obviously got 2 front brake discs and I've got the pads, and it is worth mentioning, whilst we've got the wheels off on the Clio, that these brake discs and pads weren't changed too long ago. There's not even much of a lip on the discs, and the pads still have quite a lot of meat left on them, but nonetheless I'm going to be changing them today because I want to be able to look through them Speedline Turini alloys and see the drilled and grooved discs. I just think that would be a lovely touch and a nice upgrade. Right, so let's get to removing the old discs and pads and then we can fit the new ones. I've also put my nice bit of carpet down on the floor. It makes such a difference working on the carpet on the drive. Only takes 2 seconds to put down. It's just like a rubber mat, nice and easy on the knees. We get both of these 13mm removed. There's one. And there's number 2. Now this caliper shouldn't even need pushing back too much because these pads are fairly new, but I will push it back with the G-clamp in a minute. It's criminal really that I'm changing these pads now, but I just want some new drilled and grooved discs. But yeah, they're probably about a third worn, and the inner part of the disc is actually wearing unevenly, so I'm not too fussed that I'm changing them now. Just onto the carrier bolts now. And that's the second one. All we've got left to do now is just remove these 2 T40 little grub screws that hold the disc onto the hub. Most of the time these have snapped off because they're done up too tight. I've finally got this other grub screw cracked off. I had to put the carrier back on and wedge a screwdriver in between the vents. But that is one side stripped down. Now I was looking for a reason to change these brakes, and look at that. The back is actually quite badly worn. It's not even at all. And when I looked at these from the undersides when I was inspecting it at work the other week, I thought, you know what, they could do with changing. So that is one of my reasonings behind changing these disc and pads. But a second reason I've only just stumbled across is that this slider is nice and free, and this one, it's solid, you can't even move it. So that would probably be contributing to that uneven wear on the back of the brake disc. What I've just been doing with this C slider is I've just put my socket on the back of it. It's only a 17mm, and I've just been trying to sort of turn it, and it's freed up nicely, and I'm just sort of working it in and out, in and out. So I'm actually really glad that I'm changing these today now, because I couldn't believe that that had a seized slider in it. Look at that. That's dry as anything. That's going to need cleaning up, and we'll get that grease back up again. Time for a little update, I think. So I removed the slider, and well, I actually removed both of them and cleaned them both up. I wire wheeled both of them. I cleaned up inside the actual carrier, and now they're both nice, freely moving. Oh, that boot's just popped off of that one. And I have also put some fresh slider grease on them, so yeah, really happy with them now. And I've just cleaned up the shims as well because the new pads didn't come with any. Now it's time to get refitting. I've just cleaned up the hub to get rid of any rust or any rubbish that's sitting on there that might stop our disc from sitting flush. I have also just put some brake cleaner over this disc and cleaned it off to get any storage oil off of the disc. And look at that. You do have to be careful when fitting grooved discs, especially because they are sided. You can't just whack them on any side. Now luckily my boxes are labelled left and right, but the easiest way to tell is these grooves should be facing towards the back of the car. That's the easiest way, because if I'd put the other side on this side by accident, they would have been facing the front of the car. So yeah, just remember, grooves always facing to the back of the car. I'm just about to go ahead and refit the carrier that we've sorted out now, and it's got both the sliders perfectly working. But just before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to put some Loctite on the bolts. I've put a little bit on, probably too much, but it is what it is. I don't want them coming undone. But we do, for the caliper, have new bolts. They are somewhere. Yeah, they're here. So we've got new caliper bolts with Loctite already on them. I'm just about to go ahead and fit the brake pads. Now we've got all 4 in one box, and it doesn't matter where you put these, inner or outer. They haven't got any sensors on them, so you can fit these as you like, just out of the box. A dab of copper grease on both ends, and we can get these fitted. Lovely stuff. Now I've already taken the cap off the brake fluid reservoir, so if any of it does spill out, I have got some rag there as well. That literally only needed winding back a couple of turns, and it's now ready to refit. And I've also got my 2 new caliper bolts. And just like that, the passenger side is all done up. I just need to nip up all the bolts, but I'm going to crack on with the driver's side, and then I can check everything and put the wheels on. And I know you guys don't want to see me do exactly the same job on the driver's side, so unless I find anything dramatically different, let's cut to them being done. I'm not quite sure how terrible that transition was, but this driver's side is all now done. And I'm very happy to tell you guys that none of the sliders were seized on this side, but I'm just so glad I found that other one that was seized. And yeah, this job is now pretty much all done. I'm just going to nip up all of the bolts, get the wheels on, and then we can carry on and do a couple more jobs on the Clio. I've actually only got one little job left on the Clio to go, and that is this rear exhaust rubber, or mount and rubber, let's call it. So all I'm going to do is just whiz this one off, and then we can compare the difference, although you can already see that the bush isn't really doing much anymore. Well, there we go, the mount comes off really nice and simply with just 3 bolts, and you can see this one's pretty worn. Well, yeah, it's very worn, so glad to be replacing it. Quick and simple change, job's a good one. That is all the parts fitted, and I've just spun the Clio around the block to get the new pads and discs bedded in. But looking through the Turini alloys at them drilled and grooved discs, I just think it just looks a little bit more sporty and gives a slight little nod to anyone that knows about these 172 cups, because from the outside they are pretty stealthy and they don't look like much. But I'm glad to start improving some of the parts, including the bushes that we changed in this video and the first modification. It does feel really rewarding, and there are some more parts for the Clio on order, so there will be another video coming soon. But I've got to keep this outro nice and short and sweet, because I've just sold the KA, my £300 KA. If you guys have watched that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've just sold it, so the person's coming to collect it this evening, so I'm just going to wrap up this video here. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.